Hey everybody, it's Holly and I am back with another video. Today I want to talk about the Dukan diet, D-U-K-A-N, Dukan diet. So, this particular diet is a very low carb diet primarily. It was created in the 1970s by a French physician. I believe the Dukan, the name is named after the physician that created it, I believe. So, my memory is not super fresh on all the details of this diet because it's been about a year since I've dived into it and since I actually tried it out. But I did recently brush up on a little bit more, so I can basically tell you the gist of it, and then I'll kind of explain my experience with it and whether or not I recommend it. So essentially the Dukan diet consists of different phases in which you burn fat, and then it has like a maintenance phase at the very end, and then kind of in the middle you've got like kind of like an accelerated phase, and you've got like the first part is called the attack phase. So basically what you do is you start out, and the attack phase is like, I believe it's like a week or two, somewhere around 10 days, give or take, where you eat nothing but protein, and you get 1 tablespoon, I believe it's 1 tablespoon of oat bran per day. So yeah, sounds pretty ridiculous, and I'll tell you it is. It's very ridiculous, in my opinion. So yeah, you get 1 tablespoon of oat bran, and then all you can eat is lean protein. So basically you can have eggs. So this is even way more strict than keto. This is really intense, you guys. So you can have eggs, poultry, fish, any kind of lean meats, things of that nature. You can have, let's see what else. Stuff that doesn't count is like stuff like spices, sea salt, pepper, things like that you can still have. You know, like spices and seasonings and stuff like that, those don't really count. Stuff like maybe vinegar. So anyways, you get the gist of it. So that's all you can have for a whole entire week or two. So after the attack phase, a lot of people are saying that when they do this, people have lost a lot of weight, you know, say like about 10 pounds in a week even. So during the attack phase, people will tend to lose, you know, anywhere from 5 to 15 pounds, with like 10 being the average. So after the attack phase, you have like another phase where you go up to where you get to eat like, I think it's like vegetables. You get to have vegetables every other day that you get to add in, and that lasts for like, I want to say it's like several months. And then you have another phase after that where you get to add in, you start adding in like, I think it's like 1 serving of fruit, 1 serving of hard cheese per day, and then you get like whole grain bread every day or every other day. So don't quote me on that, because I can't remember if it's every single day or every other day, but it's a little bit confusing with the diet, because it's like you can do some of it every other day, because like after the attack phase you can start doing the vegetables every other day, and then after the attack phase, after the attack phase, and then after the next phase, that's when you can start adding in like your cheeses and your fruits and your whole grain bread. So at that point you're a little bit less restrictive, but it's still very restrictive. So this particular diet, in my opinion, is extremely restrictive, and in my opinion, I think it's a pretty extreme diet in general. So I don't think it's healthy at all, and I think a lot of people don't know and they don't understand that if you're getting too much protein in your diet, too much protein, too much fat, it's really, really hard on your kidneys. It's very bad for your kidneys. It's bad for your organs in general. Your cardiovascular health, if you're getting way too much protein and way too much fat, it's really, really bad for you. You know, I just don't understand. People come up with these diets and they try to claim, oh, you'll lose so much weight. But like, the thing is too, is like, if you're super overweight to the point that you're resorting to these types of diets, it's almost like, would you really want to risk putting that extra stress on your body to where you would end up having excessive proteins that could potentially lead to severe health this day and age, especially, kidney disease is really on the rise. Kidney disease is a huge thing, and a lot of extra meat consumption is also linked to increased risk of cancers if you're eating way too much meat. If meat is the primary food in your diet, you're definitely increasing your cancer risk. So, and that's just scientific evidence right there. So you really want to have a more balanced diet, or a more plant-based diet. And this is just my opinion. Like I always say in my videos, I'm not a nutritionist or a licensed dietitian, but I do like to talk about the different diets I've tried, experiences, and my opinions, because I'm entitled to my own opinion, and I can share this helpful information with other people, because your own experiences can help other people decide whether or not they want to try it or not. So after you complete these few phases of your Dukan diet, you eventually move on to what is called the maintenance phase, I believe, which is the last one. And so in this phase, you are allowed to eat pretty much whatever you want, except for like 1 day a week. You can only eat proteins and 3 tablespoons of oat bran, I believe. So 3 tablespoons of oat bran and nothing but meat and protein for 1 day out of 7 days. So that really doesn't sound too bad if you think about it. So that would be a lot more realistic. And then you can do like a celebration meal. I believe it's like once or twice a week you get like a cheat meal. So I think that's, obviously that's a pretty realistic diet. However, I would like to mention my experience with the diet, which I'll tell you up front, I didn't make it more than a few days. So I never made it past the attack phase. I quit in the attack phase pretty early on, just because my body could not sustain that type of diet. I felt really, really bad, headaches, similar to keto, but like way worse, because I didn't have access to all these other, balanced foods that I needed for my body, because I'm just so incredibly active and I have so much on my plate on an everyday basis. I can't subsist off of just, one type of food, and that's it. So for my personal body type, like I've mentioned before, I need a pretty balanced diet. I am plant-based. I do eat a little bit of meat, and a little bit of eggs here and there. A little bit of dairy. I really try to limit my dairy because I am minimally lactose intolerant, so don't eat a lot of dairy, and the dairy that I do eat is very high quality and very sustainable. So overall, I tried the Dukan diet. I made it only 3 or 4 days in. I can't remember exactly how many days, but it was about 3 or 4. And I just couldn't take it anymore. So I got off of that diet, and I vowed I wasn't going to try it again. So I think I did actually try it again and made it like a day or 2, and I was like, no. So it's just my opinion. I think there are some people, like with any diet, there are some people that can handle it. But you really have to look into your own individual body and what you require. And, if you're a very sedentary person, you can subsist off of less. But if you're really, really active, I don't recommend trying any kind of low carb dieting or extreme dieting, because it's really, honestly, it's just not good for you. And a lot of times it can do more harm than good. So I know, like with me, with my anxiety and stuff, if I get to where I'm not getting all the nutrients that my body needs, I will actually get like anxiety, panic attacks, even like have like heart palpitations. So, and it just makes me feel really uneasy if I'm not getting the nutrients that my body needs. So that's another thing to consider. If you're someone that's anxiety prone, or depression, anything, mental health like that, you have to consider how the diet will affect that mental health. Because if you're depleted on energy as well, that can lead to depression, anxiety from just not giving your body what it needs. So the Dukan diet could essentially possibly be good for someone if their body tolerates it for a very short period of time. But if I have to be completely honest, I don't feel I would recommend this diet to anybody at all. This is far worse than keto. It is, in my opinion, it's just an insane diet. I think that the doctor that created it was not the most intelligent. But, you know, I mean, if you can lose weight on a program, that's great. But you have to look at weighing in the risks of maybe I'm going to lose 10 pounds, but what am I doing to my body otherwise? What are the risks and effects of this diet on my organs and my body internally? You know, because just because you drop 10 or 15 pounds doesn't automatically mean that you're going to be healthier, because there are so many different factors that play into that. So just because you may be 5, 10, 15 pounds overweight, it does not mean that if you lose that you're necessarily going to be healthier. So you just really have to consider there are so many different things that will contribute to your overall health. So, and that's another, it's just very important to consider, you know, just because you may have a few extra pounds, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are not healthy or that you're less healthy than you would be if you drop that weight. So yeah, I hope that this video helps. Like I say, I don't remember a ton of details on the Dukan diet, but I do know the gist of it and the basic idea and outline of it. And just to recap, there are different phases of the diet, but it is primarily a very low / no carb diet. Very, very restrictive, a very difficult diet in my opinion. I do not recommend it to anybody, but I do feel like if someone wanted to try it and felt like they could handle it, that maybe they could do it for a very short period of time. So, but seeing as to how the diet plays out for months on end, I'm just like, I mean, why would you do that to your body? I just don't get it. But it's just my opinion. So I feel like, you know, I feel like a ketogenic diet would be a much better option, and I don't even recommend keto to people, but I feel like that would be so much of a better option as opposed to the Dukan diet. And again, I did try the Dukan diet, and it went very horribly. I hated it. It was terrible. It was the worst diet I've ever tried in my life. So anyways, I hope this video helps, and in the next video, we will discuss another diet.